Horizon Television. We are everywhere.
The United Nations Children's Fund, Unicef, has called on relevant stakeholders to review existing mechanisms in order to improve access to toilets, lamenting that about 46 million Nigerians still practice open defecation. UNICEF Chief Maiduguri Field Office Dr. Clement Adams made the call at a media dialogue to commemorate 2021 World Toilet Day. The dialogue was organized by the Child Rights Information Bureau of the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, Abuja, in collaboration with UNICEF in Maiduguri. According to Dr. Adams, about 16% of the population of Borno and 32% in Yobe still practice open defecation.
Every day is a toilet day. I use one this morning, and I'm sure most of you did too. But across the country, at least 46 million Nigerians lack access to toilets, and the protection they cover against diseases and possible deaths, with about 60% of the population in Borno State and 32% of the population in Yobe State still practicing open defecation. All stakeholders must review existing mechanisms with a view to improving access to toilets, reduce disease outbreaks, and tackle malnutrition in government-affected children. Value toilets, the theme of 2021 World Toilet Day is Act. Evidence has shown that access to toilets and water benefits people and nations. It promotes the well-being of the workforce and contributes to the reduction of stunting in children. Every open defecation helps to protect the dignity of women and girls and reduce the incidence of gender-based violence. Since 2018, UNICEF has supported the state governments in the Northeast with the construction and rehabilitation of 4,725 and 2,976 toilets respectively across IDP camps and communities. About 200 sites have been supported with hand pumps, boreholes, while 126,690 non-food items have been distributed to displaced and vulnerable families. UNICEF has built capacities of the state government departments and agencies to deliver safe and sustainable wash services to communities and IDPs. UNICEF has also supported Adamawa, Borno, and Yobe states to undertake rapid response to cholera outbreaks. At a time when the federal government has made a call to make the country open defecation free through the nationwide Clean Nigeria campaign, it is important that all states adopt this in a nation mode to become open defecation free by 2025. Practical steps towards ending open defecation by constructing more toilets and water sources, especially among the most vulnerable population, whether in camps or host communities, needs to be pursued. Schools, markets, and other public places must not be left out, even as we promote behavioral change among people. National and state budgets must reflect the importance of toilets and water sources to the health of children and the workforce. We must prioritize investment in physical and human resources and scale up existing programs targeting expansion of toilets and services.
He, however, assured that UNICEF will continue to work with state governments and Rwasa in the Northeast to promote the well-being of conflict-affected people and safeguard the rights of conflict-affected children to life and good health. Similarly, in his remarks, the General Manager, Borno State Rural Water Supply, Rwasa, Dr. Mohammed Aliu, assured that the state government is scaling up strategies for behavioral change communication to end open defecation.
Water sector, of course, because if you talk about open defecation, there is no way you ignore water sector, water supply sector. Borno State government, in collaboration with our partners, have constructed over 100 boreholes within this year and rehabilitated over 200 boreholes across the state. It's over 200 boreholes. In fact, among the boreholes that we constructed, I would like to give, I said an example, the Pulka is a community in both local government area where it was initially thought to be a mystery to get water in that community. The state government has successfully drilled 10, 13 boreholes there, and the borehole have been connected to the surface tank with capacity of 750,000 liters, which is expected to pump, because the boreholes were sited away from the LGA, from the community, from the town. Very soon, Borno State will be in the map of Nigeria as among the states that have some local governments that are open free. I promise you this by the grace of God. We also worked assiduously to provide sanitation facilities in our IDP camps and our host communities. We also extended that beyond the host communities into the receptive communities. If you are all over the media, you can see what the government is working hard to ensure that we resettle our communities. And the Borno State government is targeting the end of this year, by the end of December this year, that all of efforts to ensure that these people get water in their receptive communities. I would also like to use this medium and beg our media colleagues to help us pass the messages to everybody that wants to intervene, even our partners, to support the government in the resettlement efforts.
Wash Manager, Meduguri Office, Mamita Burataka. In her presentation, lamented that so far only 6 states have been able to key into the federal government's Clean Nigeria campaign, aimed to end open defecation by 2025.
And also, you see, almost 16%, that is 32 million people alone, only are having access to basic hygiene facilities. Close to 115 million people have no facilities for hygiene in their homes. That means no separate hand washing facilities or no soaps available when we actually went and did the survey. Now this data is from the National Bureau of Statistics and Unicef together, so this is not something which Unicef has done. These are the questions you need to ask. These are the questions. No, I'm saying these are the questions you need to ask yourself. You need to ask the government. You need to ask the local political leaders as to why is it that only 14% of the schools in the country have got access to water sanitation services. Will they send their own sons and daughters to a school without that facility? No, they will not. Why is it that the population has got, the people who elect them have got this access to this service? Same is the case with health facilities, just about, and this is not only these 3 states, this is the national data that I want to share with you. About 7% of the health facilities next. Same is the case with wash facilities campaign, which is the Clean Nigeria campaign to end open defecation by 2025. How many of you are aware of it? I'm not sure. By 2025, Government of Nigeria has actually declared that it will end open defecation, which means we just have about 4 years, right? So you think of a situation where a state like Borno does not have even one single ODF, community ODF, local government, LGA, is that target realistic, right? So we need to probably revisit our plans, policies, budgets, capacities, institutional service delivery structures, design systems, to actually see whether those plans are realistic. It's good to make a plan, it's another thing to actually be able to implement it. But what is important, I always see the glass half full than seeing the glass half empty. Okay? When it is half full, we know that all the policies are in place, right? And the empty part of the glass is about making these policies work now. By 2025, the purpose is also to mobilize support and resources, create a pool of resource persons at the state and the national level, who can actually push the agenda, mobilize various strata of society to imbibe a new culture. We need a new culture of safe sanitation, and media has got a huge responsibility of creating that culture of safe sanitation, start talking about it and ensuring that we are able to do it. And then of course, expected from the states so far is that each of the states will declare a state of emergency on wash. Okay, that is an expectation by the federal ministry to all the states. We will have to declare a state of emergency on wash, which means that all actions will have to be rapidly done. We need to develop the state ODF roadmap roadmap with a costed work plan and LCA-wide ODF plans. How do we want to address the urban and the rural communities? We need to have manpower, we need to do a capacity assessment, and we need to also engage. It's not just the responsibility of the government. I mean, we have private sectors. We need to actually see if there are private sectors who can mobilize and come to work in states like Borno, Yobe, Adamawa. Okay, we know there are security issues. We know there are issues of inaccessibility. But let us see within the private sector, we should really actually try and bring them, rope them in as well. And then we need to officially flag off the state sanitation campaign. We need to have a separate budget line for WASH, and we need to have the ODF acceleration plans.
The event was an opportunity for stakeholders to rub minds on the impact of open defecation, the progress made so far, and challenges being faced in some northern states.
Stunting. This is a child too late or too short for their age. The schools don't have toilets. Children will either go home if their houses are there to defecate, or they can just use an open ground in the school. And then we also know that children play in this field, and then you can see the spread of disease from one level to the other. So when we're looking at open defecation, we can also engage schools. So if there's an outbreak in the community, we might want to interrogate why a school, 4,000 children, 38 teachers, has just 2 toilets, or maybe they don't have water sources. So those are issues that we can also look at when we are reporting open defecation.
About it, we must change the narrative, and everything about the society is actually framed by the media. So at the end too, we'll also be drawing commitments from ourselves about what we could do going forward. That is not to say we're forcing you to say something. The commitment is going to be based on the conviction that open defecation is a big issue that must be addressed.
Planning and linking with the entire world to commemorate this day that recognizes something that is very key in the WASH initiatives. Sanitation is something that is key, and in the center of sanitation is the issue of the toilet, the use, the attitudes, and all the things that we bring out in terms of discussion. And for us, the media is the strongest partner, because whatever that we have in terms of the technicalities, whatever that we are articulating, we need to have it communicated. That vehicle to which our intentions or what we plan in terms of our programming that is used to convey to those who need the